What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks and geeks of all ages? Thank you for joining me for my very brief, very quick Suicide Squad reaction review. So I came back from the movie a couple of hours ago. I just kind of splurged a little review on my blog. You can go check that out at thegeekgalaxy.blogspot.com. But I felt like it was important for me to also vocalize my thoughts and to also... and again, I also have to be the one to clear the air about the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing. So first off, I heard the early reactions coming out about early Tuesday morning, and was disappointed, to say the least. It was hovering around 35% area on Rotten Tomatoes aggregate score, and then today it has dropped to about 26% as an aggregate score, and that's really disappointing. And I think that's a misrepresentation of the film. Personally, I love the film. I had a blast watching it. It was honestly everything about a summer blockbuster that I wanted. It was action-packed, it was funny, it was quippy, it was a little zany, and it was fairly simplistic. Like, it was easy to watch. I think that comes down to a number of things, but the most important thing about that is so simplistic to watch is that the characters are enjoyable to watch. I mean, you understand that these characters are bad guys. They've done terrible things. You see as much in the opening moments of the film. But they are still so enjoyable to watch because there's such a fresh perspective in the comic book world to watch, if that makes any sense at all. So these are villains. They're on the lower levels of society. There's a lot of setup that actually goes to that. You see the slums of different cities. You see gangs. You see the most vile people in society that you can think of. And you see these superheroes at the top of that vile food chain, so to speak. And you get to see them continuously be defeated, be berated on, and it makes you sympathize with them only slightly because you still understand at the back of your head that they're villains. Some of the standouts of the cast, I think, was Will Smith as Deadshot. I thought he was great. Personally, Deadshot, I understand he has a lot of history in the comics. I don't think he's ever been interesting enough to be able to feature on a grand scale, but I felt like they got the image of what Deadshot was perfectly in this movie. Now, I'm also a little forgetful on my comic book history on whether or not Deadshot was a vet or not, an army vet. They didn't go this approach in that movie. They just the assassin for hire, which is also fine because he's also a badass at it. His guns are really cool. His suit is really cool. I just found him to be a really cool looking character and a really just fun character to watch on screen. The other fun character to watch on screen was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. First off, gorgeous woman, obviously. She's my Hollywood crush right now, for those of you who didn't know. And she played Harley Quinn to the number, I think. She got the quirkiness of Harley Quinn down to the number. She got the emotional imbalance of Harley Quinn down to the number. But she also got the kind of cruelness of Harley Quinn. Because Harley Quinn, in many ways, is actually a pretty cruel character. She's had cruel things done to her. And in turn, she turns that cruelness on people that she can turn it onto. So the hired thugs, the random common criminals, she turns it all on them, which was really good to see. Because I think, so I think Harley Quinn was done really well in the movie. Another one was Jay Hernandez, who did El Diablo, or Diablo. I don't really know who we would call it. I thought his fire effects, when they were used, they were pretty good. Even though he's a side character, I think he's actually the most sympathetic of them all because he's not. The El Diablo is in the like Lando Calrissian kind of bad level where he's like he did bad out of necessity, maybe out of just because he couldn't control himself. So that's the best way that I can explain it. He's got a little bit of a backstory that I don't want to spoil here. Also, this is not spoilers. I don't know if I made that clear. But Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, was great. He was funny. He was weird. He was a good character to have around. I thought Killer Croc looked badass. I wish he did more. And see, the thing after you get after like the Joker, who was also fantastic, Jared Leto. People say that you need to see more of the Joker in the movie. I thought you saw just enough. Like, it was just the right amount of Joker considering the story that they were telling with the squad. I thought the Joker amount that they had was right. And I thought Jared Leto was great. I'm excited to see him in the Batman movie when it comes out. And Viola Davis, who played Amanda Waller. She was cunning. She was tenacious. She was cold. She was Amanda Waller from the comics, people. Like, if you've ever read a comic with Amanda Waller in it, this is your Amanda Waller. Way more than the CW Arrow Amanda Waller. This is very much the Amanda Waller that you see from, like, the Justice League animated series, for example. Justice League Unlimited, I think, is what she was in, but that's neither here nor there. But after those kind of characters, you begin to slip into just not necessarily token characters, even though many of those other characters are of different ethnicities, but token characters in the sense that they're just other people to fight. So, Killer Croc is one of those examples. I wish he had more to do. I wish I could get to see him do his thing a little bit more. But he was really cool looking. The prosthetics were really good looking. Karen Fukuhara as Katana. She was cool, I guess, but she didn't really have that much to do, even though she was cool when she was doing her thing. Enchantress was actually a little bit of a letdown for me. I don't think I mentioned this in my review, but while Enchantress was cool for when she alone was displaying her power and such, by the time the other squad was around her, it was kind of I don't know. She's definitely not the interesting one out of the group. And then the last one was Rick Flag by Joel Kinnaman. Most people didn't like the RoboCop reboot that he was in. I enjoyed it. I thought he was really good as RoboCop. And I thought he was really good as Rick Flag. Typical soldier, just kind of the soldier guy to keep the squad in check. I thought it was great. The action was fun to see. It was very much close quarters, which I found really interesting, considering the last two DC movies have been kind of like all over the place, with Superman flying around everywhere, and Batman's in his Batwing, and Wonder Woman's jumping around and everything like that. It was very much close quarter combat, which I thought was really fun to see, and it was a good parallel to just see what how regular people fight, really. And beyond that, special effects, there weren't that much. They were hit or miss, I would say. Some of them looked great, others not so much, but it was okay. But I gotta say, the story itself is really there to service the characters' interaction, which isn't a bad thing. It's just it's not that inspired, I'd say. But seeing the characters get to interact with one another and the chemistry that they have with each other is actually really fun. Because at the end of the day, they all kind of unite under the knowledge that they've got this bomb in their necks that could kill them in an instant. So they got to unite. They got to be able to work together. Some people complain that enough is not a compelling reason to get the audience to believe that they are actually a united force. Personally, I thought it was good enough. And maybe that's what this movie was for me. It was good enough. It was entertaining enough compared to the movies that we've had for this summer. But personally, I just had a great romp with this movie. It was great popcorn fun. It was great to see the characters do what they do. It was great to see the villains have a chance to be able to shine. It was great for DC to be able to do something a little different from what they've been doing. So all in all, it was a great experience for me. I don't understand where the critics were coming with this. I don't really understand what critics were anticipating. I didn't find the editing to be jarring. I didn't find the flashbacks to be like too little or too much at a time. I thought it was all done really, really efficiently. I think director David Ayer and company should be really proud of the product that they put out. It's really stellar to see, and I couldn't have asked for anything more out of a Suicide Squad movie. And that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing these characters in the future because they were really fun to see here. So I was initially dismissive of the Margot Robbie Birds of Prey movie starring Harley Quinn, but now I'm all for it. I'd love to be able to see that. And yeah, so I guess those are my initial thoughts. I mean, I recommend this movie. Please go see this movie. It was a great time at the theater. It is. Don't go with younger kids or anything like that. It's a little it's a little more aggressive than I think the past DC movies have been, even Batman v Superman. But it's great Hollywood blockbuster action fun. The cast was great. The director did a brilliant job. The cinematography was fantastic. I thought the shots were beautiful. It was colorful. It was vibrant. It was everything people have been clamoring for out of DC. So I don't understand where the critics went with this, because I think they're wrong. That's all I can say. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Do you guys have any thoughts? Because I don't get to talk with many people about these movies. I don't get to hear many thoughts, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to start a dialogue with you guys. But as Yeah, if you're done that with already, well then thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Got pulled away for a minute. If you want to check out the written review of Suicide Squad, you can go to thegeekgalaxy.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DaveGable64. You can like the page for the blog at facebook.com/thegeekgalaxyblog. You can also follow the blog on Instagram at the_geek_galaxy_blog. I post updates there of when new blog posts come out. I'll post an update of when this video comes out. So it's a grand old time. You can give it a follow. You can keep up to date. You can interact with me. You can do whatever you want there. And I think that's it. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks and geeks of all ages, thank you so much for joining me for my little ramble about the Suicide Squad. And as always, live long and prosper.